I met Trevor Wednesday when I traveled. He and his family were living in a tent because 11 people were in one house. This is where he'd be living otherwise. It's where he was raised. It's where he was raising his family, but not anymore.
I feel luckier than most because some people, they don't even have anything to really sift through.
Trevor was worried during his evacuation that his house door would blow open, but now the door and the wall attached to it are gone. Everything else is covered with mold.
After Hurricane Zeta, I had some damage, and I replaced the entire roof less than 4.5 months ago, and there's like 5% of it still standing.
Wow, sucks to be that guy, right? Am I right? Sucks to be that guy. Hey everyone, Trevor at Toploaded Gaming. So I have been dreading making this video. I know it sounds cliche and everything, but this I've just been sitting here not just dwelling. I don't even know, feeling sorry for myself, putting my head in the sand. I don't even know. And I need to do something here. Get back on the proverbial horse, if you will. So I don't even know what this video is gonna be. I guess story time with Toploaded Gaming. If it wasn't obvious from the video clip I played, some stuff kind of happened during this latest hurricane.
Oh my God! Yo!
Tonight, Hurricane Ida slamming into Louisiana as a powerful Cat 4 storm.
I was living, very southern Louisiana area, and the Hurricane Ida just completely destroyed my home, our home. I don't talk about my family life too much on this channel, but I have a wife, I have kids. I guess I can just tell the story and because I feel like I can't continue doing anything on my channel until like I confront this thing. Okay, so what I want to do is take you back, right, to August 29th, right? Now, even before that, August 25th, August 26th. So one thing you have to understand about, living, if you don't live in an area like this, throughout your entire childhood, your entire upbringing, right, you see storms. And you see how people track storms. You see meteorologists and how they predict storms. And it's like every storm just about that I've ever seen, that they always show this red line. And it usually spans from like the panhandle of Florida all the way to like somewhere near, Texas or something. And it's like, well, this is a projected path, and that's a projected path, and this is a projected path. And the thing that was different about this storm, right, is they were just like, yeah, it's just going to come right here. Exactly right here. It's going to pass over Trevor's house. Like a direct hit. And it was just like, no way. No way do they know. Like, one thing we always heard, like constantly growing up, like changes in temperature of the water, it could make it speed up or slow down and change directions and this, that, and the other. It's like, how do they know? So leading up to the storm, leading up to the hurricane was like, how many hurricanes I've ridden out in this house? How many hurricanes this house has survived? So I'm debating not even like going. And just about all of my family, my mom, my dad, and my sisters and stuff like that, they were all evacuating. They were all evacuating no matter what. But I was sitting there debating it, and I almost stayed behind by myself, and my wife and kids were going to go, with my parents and with my sisters and all that stuff. So I really, really, really almost stayed, because it was just so surreal. How do they know that it's just coming right here and that's it? It's not going to turn last minute, How do they know? I couldn't wrap my head around that. I still can't wrap my head around that, because it's just been, a different experience for the most part. Every other hurricane I've ever experienced that was memorable, I guess. But last minute, the last like 5-6 hours, it was just like I was waiting for it to turn. Some sort of sign, like, not a sign, but like some sort of evidence that, okay, it's not going directly where they said it was. And it's just like with every 12 hours that went by, nope, it's still going the same direction they said it was going. Next 12 hours, yep, it's headed exactly like they saying it's going to go, So 3-4 hours out, I was hoping, man, let it just turn a little bit, and then I'll stay or whatever. And at the same time, I'm not really doing much to prepare for this storm. Like I'm not packing away things and whatever. It was like a very quick storm. It was just like, finally we decided to leave. I'm gonna go with them, and we ended up going to Texas, right? And we ended up getting stuck out there for like 2 weeks, because we couldn't come back down with all the damage. The roads were blocked. They weren't letting people in, So for a good, it's not like everybody's made of money either, So we're having to pay for hotels, and everybody's like pitching in and at some point sharing hotels, and it was just it was a nightmare. Having to stay out there that long, right? And for like a week after the storm, we didn't really know the condition of like our homes and everything. Like, first of all the cell towers were down. So even people that would have stayed, that we knew that could have, taken a picture of the house, either A, they didn't stay, or B, they don't have service to reach us or whatever. And then, there was this one particular day out the bunch. And I may be overselling it. Like it might have been like 4 days until we found out. But whatever it was, I'll never forget this day. So what happened was, I we're in the parking lot of this hotel in Texas, and my son had mentioned to me that he was going to try and get a friend he had a friend that was down there, and he was going to try and get them to go ride and see if they could, see the condition of the house and whatever. And a good bit of time had passed, and we were like still in the parking lot, and I think maybe what we might have been leaving that hotel for the day and going to like a different hotel with better rates or whatever the case was. And so it's like we're in like a caravan, multiple vehicles of all my family and everything. So people were in cars. Some people were in the parking lot out smoking and whatever. So we're kind of in little, groups and things. And at some point, I noticed my son. He looked upset, and he was sitting in the back of my in my vehicle, and I kind of looked at him, and I went over there and was like, what's wrong? And the way he looked at me, the way he looked at me, I could just tell. And the person that he got, had finally found the house, and they sent this picture, and it was like, is this it? Like, they put some sort of text on the picture, and he looked at me, but he looked at me like he was trying to do some like man shit, like don't worry about it. It's nothing. I'm like, did your friend find the house? Is that, and like, he looked down and he started crying, and it was just like, he was trying to protect me from seeing the house. Like, I'm sure he was upset, that he might lose some of his stuff or whatever. But he was trying. He didn't want me. Like, he would have went the rest of the day without mentioning it. I just, yeah. At one point he told me, on the way back, when we finally got on our way back, he's like, I pretty much accepted, that like, I probably lost everything. It's probably really bad in my room, and whatever, so like, it's fine, Dad. Like, if I lost all my stuff, like, it's okay, I don't know. I just, it's crazy how my kids just like surprise me with, just how great they are, but so we find out in this parking lot that, the house is like really messed up. And as soon as like I see this picture, like, I'm a wreck. I'm like just sitting down. I think I sat down like in a row of ants, and I didn't notice until like they were all over me. And it's like, I was like numb to the world. And at that moment, one of my buddies that had made it down was also sending pictures, and then I got to speak on the phone with him, and he's like, "Oh, dude, it's really, really bad. When I turned down the street, like, I could see in your game room and everything, like, it's really bad, So it was just like, that was absolutely, crushing, so the way it was, in the game room right there, so the shelf that I had all of my games on, in my desk where I would do my videos. So the wall that completely fell down is the wall that all the games were on. So all the games just fell over, like the wall with the games and the game shelf and all the games just fell over outside, pretty much. And I guess I'm speculating, but to me, I feel certain in this, but there was these group of guys, that were like storm chasing or whatever. And very early on into the storm, they tracked a couple of tornadoes. Basically, like, to me, a tornado hit our house, right? And like all the house was like basically open right at the start of the storm. So then it became a waiting game of being stuck up there for like another week and a half. So that's what it was. It was probably like the third or fourth day after the storm that we found out. And then we spent like another week and a half up there that we were stuck up there. And, we were also hearing from people that we knew that had stayed, that refused to leave, that there was no water, there's no power, there's no stores open. Everything got demolished. So even if stores were willing to open, like mostly everything was destroyed down here. People were going into neighbors' pools for water and taking baths in their pools and stuff like that, So even at some point, if I wanted to get home and try and like, sift through everything and recover as much as I could as soon as possible. Like, it just wasn't feasible, with the power being out. It's just not a good situation. But, about a week and a half later, we were able to go and, everybody was kind of getting, tapped out money wise. So, it was about time. We finally headed home, and it was crazy to see the amount of, just devastation on the way home. It was crazy. But then we finally get home, and so what I had planned, we had rented a U-Haul, and we bought, like, me and my dad and my brother-in-law, like, we got a bunch of gas cans, all three of us, and we came down with as much gas for generators and stuff like that as we could, because we knew, like, we're probably going to be out of power for like a month. So, and we were all going to, stay at my sister's house for the, foreseeable future. That's a different area than I'm living in, so I need to go down there, like, between all the gas cans. Like, we can't just fill up 10 gas cans and then fit that in with us and my kids and everything, and then everybody be able to breathe. So we had to rent a U-Haul. Someone had to drive, a U-Haul all the way home. So I had to get like a bunch of bins and stuff in preparation to like save all this stuff and save my kids' stuff and whatever we could save from the house, So we finally get there, and like I'm on the way home, I'm just thinking like, oh, I should be able to save this and save that, and it might not be that bad. And then at the back of my mind, I'm thinking it's gonna be a total loss, And then when we get there, like I lost a good bit. I lost a hell of a lot. My kids lost a hell of a lot. But how bad the house was, I feel like I was able to salvage a lot, considering. But one thing I'll say, they have these bags, and if you're familiar with comic books, I didn't even make on purpose to have one of these things here, but if you're familiar with comic books, or people that'll put like Nintendo manuals in a bag, and then they have a little adhesive strip on the back, and then you can seal it or whatever. I had some roof damage for Hurricane Zeta, the previous hurricane season, and I was super worried that, you know, I would come home one day that from the roof damage to find like water had leaked down, you know, my game shelf or something like that, you know. So while I was waiting on like you know, a contractor for roof repairs and all that stuff, I had got with this company called Retro Protection, and I had invested in like PlayStation 2 sealable bags, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, CD jewel case bags, and you know, it was a mess when we got there. You know, the first thing I did was me and, well, I went in first, you know, and made sure that it was, you know, going to kind of be safe and everything. And me and my son went get all his and I's guitar stuff out of his room, foot pedals and his computer stuff and stuff, you know, stuff like that, stuff for my wife and all of that stuff, because all my stuff is like outside pretty much. It's all like outside, you know. So what am I gonna do? It makes the most sense to go get like the most important stuff that might still be dry possibly. So I went get, you know, pretty a lot, you know, and I mean, we're talking about like there's only so much time and there's a lot to be done. You know, there's a ton of stuff to be done. And it's hot and there's no electricity. Everything's got to be in ice chests. It was so crazy, man. So I finally get to start, you know, like looking at these games and stuff, and pretty much everything that's complete in box like is done. You know, all of the like plastic case, you know, stuff, the like bendable, like box protectors, you know, that didn't protect anything, you know, not that you would think it would. I mean, it is what it is. Everything that was like in something like that got completely water damaged, you know. So everything complete in box, just about everything that was in a disc case or whatever, you know, the artwork, the case and all got destroyed. You know, a lot of discs themselves, you know, they're fine, and you wipe them down, whatever, they're fine, you know. But so the Nintendo stuff and the Super Nintendo stuff, and some particular like Sega Saturn and PlayStation 1 games, and that I had invested in these resealable bags. I started opening these bags, you know, and it's like they're dry. It's dry inside, you know. So I started like making piles. It got to a point where like I grabbed garbage cans and anything I can use as like a carry container. I put like garbage bags and just throw the shit in there with the plastic bag still on the stuff. And then I just started sifting as fast as I could, you know, because with all that being outside, I would have thought that you know, somebody would have shown up, you know, and just took everything, you know. Like I really thought that was going to happen, which at some point I'll get into it, eventually did happen, you know, but I thought it would happen before then. So I'm just sifting through everything, and it's like game after game that was in this stuff was dry. It wasn't like sun damaged. I don't know how it happened. Like these games that were in these bags survived a tornado and, you know, a Category 4 hurricane, and just being outside the entirety of that. And then pretty much 2 weeks after the storm, which it rained a few times in between the hurricane and when we got back. So that's crazy in and of itself. But yeah, I just started. Sifting through everything, and like, for example, I had about 400 NES games, and because of those sleeves, because of those resealable bags, I saved like 300. I think it was 377 games out of 400 that were dry as a result, that weren't messed up. Humidity did not get even inside the bag itself, which is insane. Which is insane for how cheap those are. That it's insane. It's really cool. So I, for one, would definitely recommend. This isn't a sponsorship or anything, but I would definitely recommend getting those if you're on the fence about those, because those things survived a tornado and a hurricane and just being outside, So, anyways, so we make our first trip there, and I think I got a lot, but then the second day I got a lot more, and but the second day was like a big, huge realization, because when we left, it was dark and there's no electricity, so it's pitch black. The mosquitoes were everywhere, like eating you up. So it was like we had to leave. And when you going through all this stuff, you forget there's so much stuff to sift through. Like, you forget what is where. You forget that you left this here and you meant to come back and get it, but it got dark, so you forget it. And so at one point I had this tub, and it had like all kinds of controllers and like a Wii U gamepad and a bunch of handhelds in it, Sega Game Gear, a bunch of signature series, like special edition DS and 3DSs and stuff like that, the DSIs, like the Mario with the power-ups. I forget the exact name. The Mario regular DS with the white M on it, and like every controller from like the Nintendo up to today, right? That was in this tub, and I had pulled it closer to the door because I meant to grab it, right? And when we left, it rained the next morning, and when we got there the next day, tub's completely flooded. So everything in there got ruined. If it wasn't ruined before, I mean, it was dry. It was pretty dry in there. But if it wasn't ruined before, it was ruined now. And that was quite a bit of stuff in just that one tote. Oh man. So, but I was able to save a lot. Now at the same time, like I have this Sony Trinitron CRT TV behind me. I have not tried to turn this thing on at all to see if it works. I have a Virtual Boy on the bottom right there. I have not tested. All these systems that are on this shelf right here behind me, I have not tested a single one. I don't know. I just maybe I'll get on a stream one day and start testing them or something. I don't know. But I know what was dry, and what was dripping, and what was dripping I'd put in different bins, and what was dry was in different bins. And you know, I'm still cleaning and sifting through stuff that is actually still in bins, so it's taken quite some time. And then one of the days we go down there, my neighbor ends up telling me that this company that is part of the cleanup crew that assists the linemen, like basically went on my property and pretty much looted my property. So that was fun. That was great. I ended up, I'm not going to mention any names or any companies or anything, but I ended up contacting the owner of the company, and he was cool about it and everything, you know, and they eventually tracked down my stuff and supposedly got rid of the people doing it, but then they were like, yeah, so we left your stuff like on the steps or whatever. And then the next day I went to get the stuff that they were talking about, and it wasn't there, you know? So I don't know if they really did leave it, or that was like a lie, or if somebody saw the stuff on the steps and like went to get it. Like it's whatever, man. Somebody walked away with like a stack of games. This has been such a crazy experience. You know, I really didn't want to get on camera and do anything, but I feel like I can't make videos on my channel anymore unless I discuss it, unless I talk about it. I know everybody's going to ask me about it. So I feel like I don't know, I got to get back on this horse to be able to, like, you know, continue making videos. Or I know a lot of like my friends and, you know, other channels and stuff like that have asked me if I plan on making like a GoFundMe or whatever, like, and you know, that's probably one of the biggest reasons I didn't want to come on here and talk about this stuff, because it's like I don't know. I guess it's just hard to ask for help, man. You know? And I don't know if I'm going to, I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I still don't know. What I do know for sure is I want to thank Megadan. I don't care if you didn't want to be named. Megadan, like, when we were at the hotel, it was probably the day of or the next day that we found out we had lost everything. And you know, Denny, Megadan, he sent me money like more than once, you know, more than once. And it really helped at the time. You know, it really it came through clutch. And you know, I just from the bottom of my heart, man, thank you. So, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen. You know, like right now, we have a place. Obviously, I'm sitting, you know, in a place like what's crazy is after this storm, right? It's crazy. Like a bunch of people need homes, right? And suddenly, like, real estate just starts getting scalped, you know? And like if a 3-bedroom house normally goes for like $1,200 to $1,500 a month, in this situation, a two bedroom, one bathroom is like going for $1,500 a month with like water damage. You know, clearly in the pictures, it's like, you know, the floor is all flooded and crap. And, you know, the AC doesn't work and whatever. And it's like, what the hell is going on? And we lucked out. We're in a different area than where I was living before, you know, but that also means like I don't actually have a job yet, and I'm trying to I'm trying to transition out of the oil field, which was basically where I lived. That was pretty much like the mecca of where I lived. Like that was everything where I lived. And now I'm trying to transition away from that because realistically, like it's a long story, but like it's sort of dying, you know what I mean? So I'm also in the middle of this, like, you know, I need to transfer careers. I need to start a different career path. You know, so I don't know, man. It's just reality sucks right now, you know, but I don't know, man. I needed to say something. I needed to make some kind of video so I can like just continue going, you know. And I don't know what the future holds for us and this channel and whatever. But I can't bury my head in the sand, and I'm not gonna give up. So this is me like standing up to myself in a way. Standing up to myself for trying to keep me down. So anyways, for, you know, everybody that did ask or send me messages and check on me and everything, thank you, you know, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all. Yeah, I guess that's going to do it for me for now. This is Trevor at Toploaded Gaming. I'll see you next time.